What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. It's where we go back a week and give you all of your tech news from the past 7 days in one single video. And in this video, we cover the gamut of information about the Pixel Fold being canceled, the new Pixel 6a, the Galaxy Z Fold 4. We learned some things about that for the very first time, which is kind of exciting and also kind of annoying, and so much more. So enjoy this week's video, and we'll see you in the next one. Dive into the tech news first. And it's, again, like I said, about the Google Pixel Fold. It's really bad news, really upsetting news, because we have just heard recently that the Pixel Fold was going to use basically the same cameras as the Pixel 5. And the latest news coming out is that the Google Pixel Fold is canceled or will be canceled. Check this out. First of all, this tweet comes from Ross Young. I've had him on my channel. I've interviewed him. He's an analyst within the mobile display industry, and he says, bad news for those waiting for the Google Pixel Fold. We hear that they have canceled parts orders and decided not to bring it to market as indicated in the latest DSCC weekly review. And when we head over to his website to check out what it says DSCC has confirmed with the supply chain sources that Google has decided not to bring the Pixel Fold to market, not in 2021, and reportedly not in the first half of 2022. Our sources indicate that Google believed that the product wouldn't be as competitive as it needed to be. They likely figured that the competing against Samsung in the US and Europe in a small niche market, forcing higher costs rather than primary competitor, would stack the odds against the project. I point out regional differences, as in China, where Samsung is not as strong. We do expect to see many competing products with similar form factors from Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi, Huawei, and Honor. In terms of hardware, the Pixel Fold was expected to be the same size as the Z Fold 3 with LTPO and variable refresh rate up to 120 Hz. Unlike the Fold 3, it was not expected to have color on encapsulation nor an under panel camera. In addition, there were rumors that the cameras were not going to be state-of-the-art. According to 9 to 5 Google, the Pixel Fold cameras were expected to be a step down from the recently released Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. It was reported that the Pixel Fold would include the same 12.2 megapixel sensor as the Pixel 3 as the main sensor, along with the 12 megapixel ultra wide. We hope to see Google bring the Pixel Fold to market to see some software innovations unavailable initially on competing products. Android 12L was expected to be optimized for larger screens such as the Pixel Fold to enable more powerful and intuitive multitasking and better app compatibility, like the images here, which features a 2-column layout. I guess Google won't be the first brand to take advantage of these new features in foldable. So basically, it sounds like Google kind of got a little scared, a little bit worried, knowing that, you know, there's already a kind of masterful connection with foldable phones that Samsung has really taken a hold of with their Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3, and they don't seem like they could take a lot of that market share away, or even want to take a lot of that market share away at the time being. I'm completely disappointed in this. I was really looking forward to, I would say, a Galaxy type phone with Pixel cameras. I was really looking forward to it. It doesn't seem like it's happening. Obviously, Google hasn't even said it was ever coming out, nor has Google said it's not coming out. So all of this information is coming from third parties such as Ross and whoever else is gonna say it or not say it. So it still might come out. It just might come out at a later time at this point, maybe next year, maybe later 2022, maybe 2023 or 2024. But it seems like I think it will come out. I think it's just a matter of time, but 2022 is not looking like the year that it will come out. First, our first story of the day is about the Galaxy S21 series of phones. Yesterday, I should have mentioned it yesterday, but I got so locked into that Pixel Fold phone being discontinued that I forgot to mention this. They put out the, if you're in the USA anyway, the full real version of the One UI 4 software has launched, not the beta, the actual software. So go into software updates on your Galaxy S21 phone and look for the update. You should have it. I double checked on mine today because I don't really use it all that much anymore. And I did have it, so I installed it and I think it's done. Yeah, it restarted already, so it's rebooting right now after the update, so check it out. You should have it, and it'll add all those One UI 4 features, and I did a video on One UI 4, what my favorite features are, so check that out. Next up, check this out. This is gonna be from Let's Go Digital about a new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold variant with a horizontal hinge. And when we jump over to their website, you can see that they say that the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold variant with horizontal hinge patents foldable smartphone with large flexible screen. The horizontal hinge provides a completely different hand position when closed. And you can check out those images, kind of interesting. It looks a lot like a Microsoft Surface Duo phone in some ways with it. And they say that what's going on with this phone is basically that this will have a flexible screen, does not have a notch. It does have a double camera punch hole below. Product renders show that the new design with punch hole camera, the last image shows the old design for comparison, but ultimately when unfolded, the device shows many similarities to the Z Fold devices. The large screen is ideal for working productivity. The two punch hole cameras have been made in the flexible screen for a dual selfie camera that are centered in the middle. This is made possible because the hinge is placed over the horizontal axis. As a result, the phone also folds differently than the current Fold models. As for the type of camera, Samsung has patented several patents. One of the options is a notch or a punch hole camera. Another possibility is an under display camera, and the company is already used with the Galaxy Z Fold 3. And then when folded, the front display can be used. It is a square shaped design. A separate front camera is also available. In addition, the rear houses a triple camera setup, as we have seen from the Z Fold 3. Buttons and connections are not made visible on the patented images, but ultimately, I'm down for it. Why not? I mean, I always like something new in terms of foldable phones, and I'll try it out. Why not? I mean, is it something I'm itching and dying for, that specific, iteration of it? Yeah, whatever. I mean, if it has a bigger screen than what I have now, then yes. I mean, I love having a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger screen. It's just so immersive and so much fun. Story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra phones. So these phones, if you've been waiting for the beta of the One UI 4, it is now out, at least in America it is. I know so because Ernest Jones reached out to me via Twitter, one of my viewers. Thank you, Ernest, and sent me a little screenshot of the Samsung. I think he's in the United States. I think so. Yeah, pretty much so. Anyway, Samsung members One UI beta program is available right now in the Samsung members app. You can sign up for it and download the new One UI 4 update. Again, it's beta, but it's pretty steady for me, so I wouldn't worry too much about getting it in terms of like you won't be able to run it on your phone as a daily thing. So check it out right now. Next up, as you can see from the headline, COVID-19 outbreak in the Samsung digital city of Suwon, and it says only 30% of the employees can work in the office, and it might cause a delay for the Galaxy Tab S8. Galaxy S22 release is not affected. This is pretty bad right there. Unfortunately, not even just because of the fact that phones might be delayed, devices might be delayed, but these people's health and well-being is obviously the most important thing. So hopefully they make it out unscathed. They make it unscathed. Did I say it right? I don't want, they don't get sick from any of this and not affected too much by it. But I mean, that's a lot of people. Only 30% of people can be in the office. I'm surprised the S22 is not affected, and that's kind of weird, especially when these devices are coming out around the same time. So maybe Galaxy Tab S8 might get pushed back into the early spring. We don't know, but as this story develops, I will let you guys know. But yeah, kind of bad news. Next up is a huge information drop about the Galaxy Z Flip 4 and the Galaxy Z Fold 4 devices. And I've been waiting for some information to come out about these devices, and this is kind of whetting my appetite a little bit. I know you guys are looking forward to these phones as well, so let's just dive right in. So you can see this is coming from the Naver website. I'll link the whole article down below if you want to read it, but we'll start off with the Fold 4. It's supposed to have improved under-display camera compared to the Fold 3. Applied both internally and externally. So it sounds like there's going to be under display camera on the very front of the phone and the inside. Improved camera performance overall, that is great for me. Weight reduction expected depending on the development and application range of the newly applied hinge. So new hinge, which would create lesser weight in this device. Improved waterproof and dustproof, so you're probably looking at IP67 or IP68. Battery almost kept the same, so it sounds like the battery is going to be about the same size. Release date and will be the same as the previous generation, so you're looking at an August release date. Flip 4, you're looking at the under display camera mounted and existing punch hole models both available, which is interesting. So they have two models of the Flip 4 or something. That's kind of weird. Considering where to apply the improved hinge along with the Fold 3, which would reduce weight when applied, improved water and dust resistance, which would give IP67 or 68 resistance, maintain the size of the external dipple, maintain the battery size, which would be similar size to the previous generation, and the release date is the same as the previous generation as well. We also have another story just to dive into the Z Fold 4 a little bit deeper. We have a tweet from the Anthony Gallox, who's, I don't know where he pulled this from, but ultimately he's saying that the Z Fold, like the Z Fold 3, the Z Fold 4 won't have an S Pen slot, which is kind of weird. I mean, you would think they would do that at this point, but I also won't be surprised if they don't. I mean, it seems like every time we get a Z Fold edition, we're like, I want it to have the best cameras. I want it to have the internal S Pen. I want it, and it never does, and it's a little bit of a disappointment. For me, again, I say it 300 times into every video. I don't use the S Pen, but I know a lot of people want it, and they want it to internally go in rather than being on the case. But let me know your thoughts about this phone, the Pixel 6. Regular Pixel 6, this is the Pixel 6 Pro. But the Pixel 6 is no slouch. Very similar cameras, except for there's no telephoto. Not a huge deal. 90 hertz refresh rate, same processor, a little bit less RAM. Ultimately, it's still a really, really good phone. That my sister has the phone, she actually likes it a lot. With that said, crazy deal going on. $100 off currently at Best Buy. You can pick it up for $499. Pixel 6 unlocked, so that way you can bring it on any other carrier after the fact. But yeah, $490, crazy deal for a really, really good phone. So if you're on the fence of wanting to get a phone, but you don't want to pay $1,000 or $1,500 or even $700, $500 for a very, very solid phone that will last you years and get 5 years of updates. You really can't turn a blind eye to that. So it's linked down below if you want to take advantage of this Black Friday deal right now. Next up, as you can see from this tweet from Ice Universe, it seems that many people doubt the notch of the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. Now I can tell you with 100% certainty that the notch must exist, but it's not big. It is equipped with two front cameras, including an ultra wide angle camera, which can shoot 4K 60 frames per second. So if you've been wanting, just like me, I kind of want this Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. It's huge. It's like over a 14-inch screen. I think it's 14.6 if I remember correctly, which is ridiculously big, like probably too big for anybody. But if it turns into that laptop replacement that potentially what it seems like it's going to end up being, this is going to be kind of cool. Now, ultra wide camera on there, you can think that's going to be great too for video chats and maybe just filming a selfie kind of video with it. So I can see the experiences of that being really, really positive. But then notch, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh my God, it's got a notch. I hate notches. iPhone has a notch, I don't want a notch. You'll get used to it. It's like anything else. It's like the pinhole, camera hole on there. It's the under display camera on the Z Fold 3. We can see it in certain situations. It's the notch on the iPhone. It's the fingerprint sensor on the back or underneath the display. You get used to it. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it doesn't. But ultimately, I don't think a tiny little notch is going to be the end of your world. And I think you'll still very much enjoy and kind of outgrow this thought and feeling that you cannot enjoy this tablet. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but it is something to know. Now on this channel, I absolutely love talking about foldable phones and flip phones. And I'm not talking about the old school flip phones. I'm talking about like the new flip phones, like the Z Flip phone or the Z Fold phone. Like they just excite me to no end. Like there's so much possibility with it and so much screen real estate. And we've spoken about this phone in the past. We're getting a little bit more information about it. It's Samsung's tri-folding phone. Check this out. This information is coming from Let's Go Digital, and they're showing it off saying that the Samsung Tri-Fold smartphone will have reverse wireless charging. Samsung patents reverse wireless charging technology for a foldable smartphone that consists of 3 parts and includes a front display. So not only will it have reverse wireless charging, meaning you can charge devices on the back of it, but you'll also have a front display on this tri-folding phone. And they show all the different orientations that you'll be able to put this. It almost seems like you're going to get confused when using this. And will this be a phone? Will this be a tablet? I kind of won't be surprised if it comes out as a tablet first, or some kind of hybrid of a phone and a tablet. And having reverse wireless technology, it's more seemingly for devices such as phones, because I can't remember a time we've seen a tablet that had reverse wireless charging on it. And if it was a tablet, it'd probably be one of the first ones that have it. And then also, when you think about this, when would this device actually come out? Potentially as early as 2022. Why not? I don't think so. I think we're going to see something like this in 2023 probably. I don't think it'll come out in 2022, but I will be gladly wrong if that happens. And our first story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra to be exact. And we've heard this tablet could be delayed due to some COVID issues with the factory over there in Korea. And then also we've heard that, there's going to be limited supply with this. So we're going to dive into those real answers right there. So let's get into it. So this tweet's coming from Tron, who pulled this from the Naver site, basically saying that the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra will be very limited quantities, and it'll be dark gray only in color. So if you wanted it in extra colors, you won't be able to get it. Dark gray only. And the January Unpacked is when it will be unveiled, and then February would be the release date. So it sounds like it's still rumored to be coming out the same time the Galaxy S22 phones are going to be coming out, which would be February as well. So a couple months away, guys, before you'd want to get this tablet, and this should be quote unquote a laptop killer. It sounds like that's what they're going to aim this to be, due to the fact that it has a 14.6-inch display, very high-end specs, awesome sound, beautiful screen. It's really going to be a tablet to go against hopefully the iPad Pros out there and other laptops as well. I mean, to make this into a laptop killer, it really has to have Dex, which it will obviously, and Dex is that operating system within Android that's like a layer on top of their Android that looks like a desktop operating system, but it still, again, runs Android. But I don't know, we'll see how they integrate that, maybe improve it, turn it into a way that it's, maybe loads up with that instead of the regular Android OS. Let me know your thoughts on how they can improve this so it's a real laptop killer. Next up is about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. Now the Z Fold 3 did come with the ability to have S Pen compatibility, but you had to have a specific case and you had to put the pen within that case, and then you could house it that way. There was no way to house it internally on the phone. And one of the big jumps and things that people wanted with the Galaxy Z Fold 4 is to have it put in there internally. Now, we would want that not only because we're now seeing it in the Galaxy S22 Ultra and obviously the old Note phones, but to hold a Galaxy Z Fold phone and a pen and carry it around, it's cumbersome. And you don't want to have a specific case in order to do that. You want to house it in there. And we've talked recently about the Z Fold 4 not having S Pen compatibility, so that it goes inside of the phone. It'll have the S Pen compatibility, but not the ability to go inside the phone. And it looks like that rumor is getting stronger and stronger because Tron, again, pulled this from Naver, saying no built-in S Pen prototypes in the Z Fold 4. Everything will be finalized around March. So could things change? Yes. March is still, 4 months away, 5 months away before we would get finalized versions of the Galaxy Z Fold 4, but it's not looking that good right now with S Pen going completely in the Z Fold 4 at this point. It's a disappointment. It's something that if they really want to bring that Z Fold to the next level, it seems like that's what they need to do. And also, not hearing any rumors of this Pro version that I'm hoping will come out also puts a damper on things too. I haven't heard anybody say that. It still could, but I don't think it's going to. And I think the more we read and lead into these things, seemingly, I don't know if there's going to be even a bigger screen on the outside or the inside displays as well. Just, you haven't heard anything about it, so it seems like that's not going to be a factor as well, but that remains to be seen. The Pixel 6 and 6 Pro have just come out. But that doesn't stop the leaks and the showing of what the 6A is going to look like when it's going to be released and how large the display will be. So with that said, let's dive into that first. So this is being released out, at least this information is being released out by Mr. Steve McFly. Steve McFly put out this out, and it's on 91 Mobile site. And when we get closer to the 91 Mobile site, you can see from the headline that it says, Google Pixel 6a renders reveal punch hole display, Pixel 6-like rear display, design, and more. And the little headline says 6a renders show off the complete design. The upcoming Pixel phone gets a hole punch display at the top and the middle, dual rear cameras, and more. 6a specs include a 6.2-inch flat display and an in-screen fingerprint sensor. So kind of interesting what we're potentially seeing here with this phone when it is going to be a carbon copy pretty much of what we see with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. I'm not really totally sure when this phone is going to come out. If this just came out, you would expect this phone probably won't come out until the spring, maybe even late spring. So this is extremely early as for when this phone comes out. Because you got to remember, the 5A just came out, and then the 6 and 6 Pro also, again, just came out. So like seeing the 6A this early into the cycle is ridiculously early. So not a huge change from the previous phones, especially the last generation they just released, but it's kind of cool that even though this is going to be kind of a mid-tier to low-range phone, that it's going to keep a lot of the same design elements as the flagship flagship phone. Next up is a game, guys, and it's a tough game at that, because you see some stuff on here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you can't spend more than 20 bucks on this phone. So I'm gonna dive into this as best I can. I'm gonna start off with the stuff that's most important to me that I use on a regular basis, the processor. Now, processors have come such a long way that you generally don't need a crazy processor, but why not go out with a bang? Dimensity 1000 was just announced. It has benchmarks as high as an Apple processor. So I'm gonna go with that one first. I'm gonna go with Dimensity 8000, which is gonna put me at $4. Next would be storage and RAM. I can't go below 8 gigs of RAM, but at the same time, I need to save every dollar I can. So I'm gonna go with a 256 and 8 gigs of RAM. That puts me at $8. I'm gonna skip down to the refresh rate. I'm gonna save myself a little money here. I'm gonna go 90 hertz refresh rate. That's going to put me at $11 at that point. Screen size, I need the biggest. I know these screens are way too small, so I'm just gonna pretend these are much larger. So I would go with the largest on there, which would be the 6.2. That's gonna put me at 16 bucks, leaving me with only $4 left on where I can spend my money. And that leaves me left over with the main camera, the video capture, and the battery charge. So battery charge, man, I guess I have to go charging for 5 hours. So that puts me at 17 bucks. And then I have $3 to spare on here for the cameras. So for the cameras, what's more important to me, photos or videos? Depends on the day of the week. One's gonna have to be $2, one's gonna be $1. So I'm gonna have to put the 1080p 60, which is fine with me. I don't care about 1080, 120 really that much. So that's 18, and then I go 12 megapixel camera. So that's my phone that I would make for 20 bucks. Let me know, that'll be your question. Let's jump into the tech news. Our first story of the day is about the Pixel 6a. Now remember, we talked about the Pixel 6a yesterday. We showed it off. There's two things I wanna mention and show it against on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. But again, this probably will come out in the spring, I'd guess, of 2022. And it's gonna be a mid-range type of Pixel 6 device. But again, let's check this out. This is gonna be a comparison of the Pixel 6a, 6 and 6 Pro, and you can see that the 6a does look pretty small compared to the 6, even though it's 6.4 versus 6.2. But then next to the 6.7, aka the Pixel 6 Pro, it's a lot smaller. So if you've been wanting a smaller, even smaller Pixel 6 device, you're probably gonna wanna go with the Pixel 6a. The Pixel 6a will probably come with a mid-range processor, maybe a little bit less RAM, maybe a little bit less storage, who knows, but we'll see what ends up coming out with it. One thing it does not have that the previous generations of the A version had is a headphone jack. So if you've been wanting a headphone jack with your Pixel device, 6A will not be having it this year, seemingly so far, based off these renders. If you have a Galaxy Z Fold 3 or Z Flip 3, as you know, the beta for One UI 4 is already out, and we've already gotten 2 updates thus far, at least here in America. The third update is rolling out right now. I got the second update like a week ago, and maybe not even a week ago, and the third one's already coming out. It's rolling out in South Korea and some other places as well, the beta version, which means after about I think it's the 4th version, they end up just pushing it live usually, which you're probably looking at maybe a couple more weeks to 2 to 4 weeks probably before it's actually out for the Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3. But this is very, very good news. And so far so good. I haven't really had too many issues, and the second update that I got for the Z Fold 3 for the beta has been pretty rock solid. It fixed some of the issues I was having in some of the other apps that were acting strange, so far so good. And our last story of the day, also about the Galaxy Z Fold line, this time the Z Fold 4. As we've known, we leaked out a little bit of information the other day, and one of the information about the Z Fold 4 was the S Pen. Now, this is what we talked about the other day. Tron tweeted out that no built-in S Pen prototypes in the Z Fold 4 will finalize around March. What he meant by that is that there would be no pen that's housed inside of the phone, that it would be housed just like it is on the Z Fold 3 on the back in a case, something like that. Now, something I thought about and I never really mentioned it, and then I got I rethought about this again through an article that Sam Mobile put out, was that, you know, if the pen is not housed inside of the phone, and most likely it's not going to be charged on the back of the phone, then that means we're not going to get Bluetooth functionality with the S Pen, meaning that, you know, from this headline makes total sense that the Z Fold 4 will lack the Galaxy Note's best S Pen features. Now, what are those features? That's the, you know, air gestures. That's the ability to use your pen as a shutter button for your camera. It's your ability to just control your phone from not touching the screen, like literally just waving it and stuff like that. Those are the features. Out of those features, the shutter button is my favorite feature from that, which I haven't had a Note phone in a while, but still, it is something to know that if you're getting the Z Fold 4, be prepared. They're most likely, probably 95% or more higher percentage, there will not be any Bluetooth functionality, so it'll really just be a very similar S Pen experience to what we got with the S21 Ultra and the Z Fold 3. Thanks for watching. Your question of the day is, what kind of S Pen functionality do you want with your Galaxy Z Fold 4? Does it have to have the full experience in order for you to even consider getting the S Pen or wanting the S Pen for the Z Fold 4? Or you don't really care, you're fine just being able to write on the screen. That's plenty enough for you. Let me know in the comments down below. With that said, let's jump into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat! And our first question of the day comes from Petrolane. Says, is full screen defaulted when the phone is in portrait mode? It is defaulted to go in full screen on my device when it is in portrait mode. I want to make sure I don't change something by mistake. So he's talking about, I put a Galaxy Z Fold 2 video out maybe a year ago where I talked about the phone being full screen when you're watching like YouTube videos. Let me lower that. And he's saying if you go into portrait mode with the phone, oh man, this is all messed up. When you go into portrait mode on the phone, is it going to, through the settings, will videos be full screen in portrait mode? And mine aren't. Let me just double check. I'm gonna go back here. So when I look at it, mine's just like that. It doesn't go into portrait mode. I have to physically put it into full screen mode and it would watch like that in full screen. So hopefully that answered your question. Goon Squad says, question, when I did this November software update, my phone began acting weird and freezes. Now when using split screen, when I go to watch a YouTube video, my speakers sound real low. Then like 1 minute, they go back to normal and work fine. Anyone else have this problem? And sometimes both screens go black too. So Goon Squad, I don't know if it was you that was asking questions like this previously a few days ago or somebody else, I can't remember. But the November update seems like a bad update for a lot of people. My wife, because I'm on the beta on all my phones on Samsung currently, I haven't had issues like that, but My wife has, so I'm not the black screen issue, but like the weird lagginess and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that the November update is really, really bad. So hopefully the December update will fix a lot of those issues. And the last question is from Mustafa Ahmed. Hi, Greg. I liked your electric car travel video log. It was very interesting. Can you please sometime upload some travel videos if you do some trip? I'm not against it. The thing is like when I go on a vacation or a trip, it's really nice to get out of the mindset of like, oh, I have to record this, or I have to be on, I have to put this personality, not this personality, but like this energy into the video. It's like sometimes I just don't want to do that. So that's sometimes why I don't make a lot of travel vlog videos. That's usually why. It's like, oh, I'm always recording anyway at my house with the tech videos, but I'm not against it. We'll see. If it's something I'm super stoked about and do, I might. I have been throwing in my mind doing a CES video, CES vlog type video, which if you're interested in that, I'd be going to that in January, the beginning of January, and I could release that like a couple days after or something. If that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know. Thanks for watching. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below with the word question, and I'll see you down the road. Peace.